Hello, it has been a while. For those of you guys who are new, my name is Counselor Jay. I'm the director of the Admission Masters. I try my best to provide additional information using this YouTube channel. This is all during my free time. What I wanted to try to do for the 24-25 cycle this year around is maybe try doing some more live sessions, try to take on more audience feedback. I am in a couple of email exchanges with several of students who might be interested in being guinea pigs in that regard. If you are interested, let me know. I am very packed these days, actually. I've been very blessed to have a lot of opportunities to meet with students and parents. And just try your shot and send me an email. And if I have the time and if I see the opportunity, I'd be more than happy to see what I could do. With that being said, we are starting into the 24-25 cycle. And if you're on the Commonapp, you'll see that there is a new notice saying that after July 27th, the responses to questions in your My College tab will be deleted. But they will also tell you that there are some things that'll roll over, information that'll roll over. So if you're curious about that, you can check the FAQs. Those of you guys who are wondering, what the heck is this, Jay? It really is for all the students who are starting really early on their applications. If you are a junior, rising senior, and you're applying for colleges this coming fall, you can technically go onto the Common App and create an account, and you can start filling out some basic information. Which information will be saved and roll over is literally on that FAQ section. What I've been telling my students to do to get a head start is actually to focus on filling out the first 4 or 5 sections of the application. The first 4 are pretty self-explanatory, but then it's really the activities section, step number 5 or section number 5, where I start to see where the difference is made with someone who received good coaching or someone who has kind of seen a lot of top tier, S tier examples, because 150 characters, including spaces, is not a lot of space. And so it's how you try to maximize that opportunity. In order to help students, I figured it's best to start on a Google Doc so that you can get some editing advice, invite people to help see kind of how you're writing out your descriptions. So a simple worksheet that has been very effective in getting students started early is this right here, the Commonapp Activities Worksheet. I think of 4 main sections that require some deeper thought rather than just regurgitating, or itemizing out some of like personal information. It's the colleges and universities that you've attended. That actually shows up in the education section. So they'll ask for, have you attended any colleges or universities for coursework? Note that it's not only just for coursework. There's a chance for you to check mark that it was a summer program. So I know a lot of competitive students apply for competitive summer programs and attend. This could be an opportunity to showcase that, hey, I have college experience. They allow up to 3. The next thing is the academic honors and achievements. The key word there is academic. That actually shows up again in the education section. So main Common App tab, education subsection, and then within the rows, there's the honors right here. And so they give you up to 5 honors, and they give you 100 characters to describe it. So which 5 awards are you going to be putting down? I assume by default that the order does matter. You want to show your best foot forward. So planning things out with students. How many awards do you have? I have more than 5 awards, Jay. In which case, then we have to deliberate and see which ones will make the cut, which ones will push over, which ones we will stack. Some students will stack awards together to make them more robust. And then there's the activity section. The activity section will show up, has its own section right here. Like I mentioned, 150 characters to describe it, the 100 characters for the name of the organization itself, 50 characters to describe your leadership position. There's a drop-down menu to identify what type of activity you're going to indicate. The reason why I would bet that the order matters is because they literally give you move up and move down bars or UI features for changing the order of your activities. I've always mentioned that for students, especially if you're in 9th grade, 10th grade, you should be thinking about what your top 5 activities will look like. It's not that all 10 activities need to be things where you're president in or you've been doing for 4 years straight. But finding the order and knowing how you want to showcase yourself, I like to think of it as show me what your top 5 are, and I'll show you what type of student you are. 6 through 10 are kind of more miscellaneous offshoot kinds of things. And lastly, there's the additional information section. This one will show up actually on the Common App in the writing subsection. If you scroll past the personal essay or personal statement, there's an additional information section right here. By default, it doesn't show the text field. So once you click yes, it'll show it. The COVID explanation is 250 words. Whether this will still be there for when they refresh the application in August, I'm not too sure, because if you if you play out like the years or the timeline, students who are applying for 24-25 college applications, they were 8th grade when COVID hit. So how should I use this section if in 8th grade was COVID? And there's some discussions to be had about there. I've seen students decide to use this because they contracted, they were affected by COVID during a certain key finals or key AP exam. But each student's going to be different there. Then there's the main actual additional information section. This is 650 words. How will you use it? How will you capitalize on it? I think if a student got this Google Doc and really planned it out first and drafted it out first, received some feedback, then when the application is officially out, let's say on August 1st, you would be ready to literally copy paste all these things in. And that's the goal. That's what I'm doing with a lot of my private clients, students that I work with. And so I hope that I'll provide a link to this Commonapp worksheet below. It should be a good way to start. I've been actually giving this to a lot of 9th graders and 10th graders, because when I look back on it, I realized this is actually a really good organizational macro overview of how you should start planning for the 4 years of high school. What are your top 5 activities going to look like? Or while things can change throughout each year, at least having a good sense of where you're at, how to value each of your activities. A good example would be like, Jay, should I do this activity or should I do that activity? One way I help quantify or give you an objective answer to that is to show them this top 10 list and say, hey, for that first activity, if you did it long enough, do you think you want to make that one of your top 5? Well, no, Jay, I'm thinking about making it maybe like a smaller thing, in which case then you know what your priorities are. You should spend more time on your number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 activities and less time on your 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 activities. And so that's been something I've been enjoying establishing with students, because it just makes the conversation and much more efficient with students. When students be like, Jay, what should I do? It's like, I think that's at best a 3, 4, 5 activity. I don't think at the best level that would be anywhere to break the top 5. And then the student will understand that and be like, oh, okay, so then I don't think it's worth that much of my time. So this is not just for juniors, rising seniors. If you're a parent or if you're a super tryhard student right now, somehow stumbling upon my videos and you want something useful from me, here it is. I'll provide the link to it below. A couple of other notes I wanted to mention before I go. I've been finalizing college lists with students. We have to start thinking about what your early strategies are going to be. And there was a big switch up for a lot of my, general range of students. My students tend to be, S tier caliber, tier 1, tier 2. With that being said, I do also work with a lot of CC transfers and things like that. But big thing I want to point out for generally my demographic is that CMU no longer offers early decision 2. And that changes a lot of things. That changes like the dynamics of whether a student wants to push for ED1 somewhere else, or what they would lean on for their ED2 choice for their final boost in chance, so to speak. But I wanted to also highlight that out. If you are a student right now watching this video, rising senior, you should be looking up how to write your Common App activities descriptions in an optimal way. You should also be thinking about how to organize your activities, your top 5 awards, what they're going to look like. And you should start looking into college deadlines, creating a college list, understanding what the early strategies versus like the regular, all those different kinds of things would be like. Last but not least, one of my students created this amazing initial framework of what her art portfolios are going to entail. And I want to expand upon that. I've been creating things like the college interview spreadsheet. This has to be updated. Are interviews important? When do interviews start? I've also created a template here that's a timeline of what you should be doing. This is also really relevant, and you should be well aware as a senior, rising senior, what the windows are like for college applications, early window 1s and regular window 2s. I know I'm jumping all over the place. I hope to be a bit more concise as I move forward. This is my first time coming back after 3-4 months. So yeah, Those of you guys who have specific questions you want to ask or want to pitch to me a topic idea for a video because it's something that you can't get clarity on, or it's pretty vague when you're trying to search, please shout that out to me. Let me know. Post a comment. Um, Thank you guys for watching, and thanks for being fans. And I'll see what I can do to provide something useful for you as I move forward working with my current students for this upcoming season. Really excited. Alrighty, guys. See you later.